And I realized that I look like the buffoon. A raccoon buffoon.
Shitstorm buffoonery.
What's a shitstorm?
Well, you like to say Jeff V.S. Benson or whatever, and I say
No, I say HS.
What's that?
Poor Benson.
Okay, that's got some umph to it. I think of Shitstorm. After I finished the fourth episode, I was looking at it, and I really think it could have been better visually. Simply through doing it, I learned a lot on how to make things just look better. Just in general, after I finished it, I really wanted to go back and make a story. Because really what EarthBound Saga currently is joke to joke to joke to joke. There's really no structure. It's just stuff loosely strung together to get from point A to point B. When I first watched Chapter 4 for EarthBound Saga, I thought that it outdid the previous three. At the time, I thought it was pretty much the best EarthBound Saga could get. And then a short time afterwards, I realized it could get better. And how it can be better, you'll have to find out.
EarthBound Saga 4, which we just watched again, is awesome. And the first time I watched it, I loved it. I knew it was going to have to be one of those things you have to watch like over and over again to get the small details and stuff. And it is. When we watched with Jeff, he pointed out all the crazy crap that happened during filming, like the guys, well, a lot of people hurting themselves in the process of filming. I mean, we've seen so many people come through Starman.net and they're like, hey, I'm going to make a fan game, or I'm going to do this huge project, and it never happened. Seeing EarthBound Saga 4 itself released was inspiring for me, just because he actually got it done.
I thought it was really dramatic, much better than the rest of them by a lot, because I think Jeff especially put a lot more effort into it, and that's really where the commitment picked up a lot, and things started moving. EarthBound Saga 4 took, I'd say, about, well, from the first shot that we ever did, it was in 2007, and then we got done shooting in mid-August of 2008. So I guess you could say it did take about a year, and over the course of that year we shot at our leisure. A lot of the making of the movie took place in editing for me. I had a lot of the locations figured out and the scenes and stuff like that. I think what gives the movie most its credibility would be the editing. Certain segments and sequences of EarthBound are based on various films that we were fond of at the time of its production, such as The Dark Knight and There Will Be Blood. I think There Will Be Blood kind of liberated Jeffrey's ideas of what editing would constitute. A lot of EarthBound 4 was influenced by Evil Dead. The Dark Knight had come out that summer. That really inspired me to kind of try and make something that's visually as real as possible within my power at the time. The general response, as far as I know, to EarthBound Saga has been positive. I don't keep up to date on the comments very frequently, but of what I've seen, people like it and they can't wait for more. The general response to EarthBound Saga is FTW, that was epic, this is awesome, and make more. My original vision with EarthBound, the movie, which is going back to when I was 8 years old or 7 years old, I basically envisioned I would walk out of the house with Tracy. As soon as I exited the door and walked down the porch, I would hear the screeching tires of my friend on his big wheel bike come around the corner, and he would be a police officer, where he would come by and stop me and say, "Hey there, Ness, don't worry. A meteor crashed, but we've got it under control. Stay in your home," or something. And I distinctly remember that scene. I don't know what I was thinking after that. The special effects done in EarthBound 4, an example would be the sanctuary location in Chapter 4, the wide shot in which Paula and Ness walk away, the final shot, and then it fades to black. There's actually a very long road that's in the frame. How did we do the shot with the multiple insane cultists in the town home of Happy Happy Village? I'm glad you asked. I was the one who did that.
It was just basic compositing using Final Cut Pro. Each of the happiest you see is a separate layer, and if you notice there's some subtle moving and motion, I did that by hand, give it that extra punch that it needed to be realistic. During the post-production of EarthBound 4, Robbie and myself had to do extensive Foley and sound effects work. From the beginning? Yeah. We got into the editing room and began plugging the best of the best sounds into the movie. We realized it looked really odd. When we'd go back and we'd watch it, we just started laughing and became really, really embarrassed. Alone, those video clips looked pretty odd. One thing that kind of makes me laugh is how a lot of people online, they'll look at the 4th chapter and I get a mixture of comments like about the production quality. Some people will say, I know you guys like stress how this is supposed to be crappy and all this stuff, and it's not supposed to be that great, but you guys did a really, really good job on this, and it looks really cool. On the complete other end of the spectrum, you get actually people who are saying that it was so bad. Like they actually say it was really, really bad, but they loved it for that.
I thought the production values were really on the up and up there. They've always been like, intentionally funny and like someone saying take right in the middle of the video and silly things like that happening. But maybe I think they saw that it started to become more than just a gag and more of an actual like video with a following. So I think they're really starting to improve the aspects of it without becoming something it wasn't to begin with. Staying true to their roots, but kind of becoming something more.
We like, pleasing the fans and giving them something to enjoy, and I think the more realistic it is, the more impressive it is as a cinematic counterpart to a game.
Like people on the site will be like, "Oh, EarthBound Saga 4," and then we'll like have some kind of promotion or contest, and we'll get like a handful of entries. So I don't know. I guess people will have I don't think it's ambivalence. I think people just have a hard time knowing how to approach it because it's so weird. I mean, people love it. It's got like kind of a cult following on the site. I think just a lot of people don't get it. I don't know if intimidated is the right word, but they're just kind of put off by it because they don't understand what's happening.
I think there are some things that keep the crappiness quality to it, such as like the carpenter not wearing shoes.
Jeff found some shoes for the carpenter to wear, me to wear, and they were a little bit too small, so we just said, "Oh, we'll put them on. I can live with it being tight." But then the seams burst, and we decided, let's not wear these shoes. We don't want to break them. So I wore socks instead. In EarthBound 4, the hardest scene to film was probably the opening sequence of me running through that happy village, simply because it was in the prime of summer.
You want us to turn around past you?
Just keep going this way. A little bit more. Come back here. Run.
Ready?
Action.
Okay.
Okay, action.
We'll do it now. All right. Oh, gosh. All right. I can only hope that worked.
And I think that was one of the shoots that we did in our sort of 3 successive day shoot schedule, where we just tried to knock out most of the episode in 3 days. So that was very hot.
Action. Cut. Sorry. EarthBound 4 is a movie.
Because that was just a long shoot, and Cora had her niece there with her in a stroller, and we had to tend to her while she was, in front of the camera.
There's a baby in the car, so I feel much more nervous about crashing. Yeah. Well.
The hardest scene to film was they were all very equally hard to film in the sense of stress, especially around the accompaniment of my ex-girlfriend. Those are the hardest scenes to film emotionally.
Cassie Hayes broke up with Jeff. Jeff broke up with Cassie Hayes. They aren't going out anymore.
As for other people, anything in Happy Happy Village for Robbie, especially because when he trips over the fruit stand, he actually really did trip on something. He fell down and did a chin plant into the ground. Scraped my chin by taking a fall, which hopefully will be shown in the movie. Probably bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's
What's
alright.
bleeding? His chin?
Yeah.
God.
I don't think anything bad happened to my jaw, it's just scraped.
That was great.
Okay,
That
let's
was
get
a
some
really
water
good
on
fall, though.
So typically when I'm playing Ness, my body reacts as slightly tired, but I feel more relieved at the end of the day. And sometimes I scrape my knees, but that's about the worst it gets. I think John gets worse beatings than I do. Okay, keep hitting it, Robert. You flash the lights.
Okay. See it?
Sorry, John.
It's okay. The funniest part of EarthBound 4 for me, I don't recall a whole lot of laughter, I guess, on the set, but it was fun to record the Runaway 5 sequence. If only because it was fun to see Robert's mom on stage, you know, acting and dancing. That was a very nice little gift. Shooting the Runaway 5 scene was tiring, and in fact, I was in a lot of pain afterwards because I hadn't stretched. I'd advise stretching before you try dancing like that. But it was fun, especially because Vicky Krakauer was there. We realized we needed another band member, and she was the driver who took us to the location, and we thought it'd be funny if she was part of the Runaway 5. So anyway, we gave her a vest that was part of Robert's suit. Vicky, do a spin. Yeah. And I think she wore her daughter's hat, and we gave her some sunglasses. And you guys can pass her if you want. That was her outfit. Okay, we got something to work with there. That was good.
The funniest point of EarthBound 4 was seeing the Runaway 5 and that whole section of the film, because it was funny looking.
And there's the other Runaway 5 coming through the door right now.
Mrs. Vicky Krakauer.
Vicky Krakauer!
Here she is.
One enchanted evening. Sing it for us.
Wonderful.
Robbie, can you play it on piano really quick? Help
Okay.
us out.
I don't know how it works.
Vicky, can we get you up on stage really quick? Vicky, just one of it. Come on. And now, for everybody's entertainment, this is Vicky Krakauer performing One Enchanted Evening. Let her rip.
Thank you, thank you. 5, 6, 7, 8. Some enchanted evening, a stranger will be watching. A stranger will be watching from across the room. And that, you know, is all I know. That's it. Oh, that's all I know. I don't know for the rest.
We had to turn off the lights before we opened up the curtain to reveal the Runaway 5 performing. And in one of the early takes, I thought it would be wise of me to try and, from behind the camera, turn off the lights, spout out a few lines of what the announcer would be saying, and run about 50 feet across the room into a door, go behind the stage, run behind the curtain, and get into my spot so I can be in the show. However, it really didn't work, and you can hear me gasping and panting for air, and we decided that it'd be best if Robbie did it.
Shooting the Runaway 5 scene was a lot of fun. It was, I enjoyed dressing up as a somewhat substantial character. It was fun to act old and be kind of rough sounding. Even though it kind of looked like, because I didn't get a mustache, I just looked like a kid in his dad's, jacket and pants. It was kind of weird.
My favorite character to play would probably be Everdred, simply because he reminds me a lot of my godfather. This is really sweaty. Ow! the pillow I sleep on at night, by the way. So
Jeff sacrifices.
There should be some.
Look,
There should be.
feel
Look
that.
at all the acne
feel
blood.
it. It's all sweaty. You see what I did?
For more peace and. I also wanted to document the bread scraps and saliva puddles left by the Everdread character Jeff Benson. Also over here, right there. Also over here. Right there.
I don't like playing Ness. Robbie does a very good job on him. He's a very complex character. He's got some many multifaceted dimensions, but I just can't do that, so I leave that up to Robbie.
My overall inspirations for Ness have been partly the facial expressions of Laurel and Hardy. That's okay. I don't care. Average Joe in a surreal world quality that Ash has from Evil Dead. Basically just trying to be as entertaining as I can be. I'm often just trying to imagine what I'm looking like when I'm acting. Does this change anything? And that may not be a very good means of acting, but when it comes to Ness, that's what I'm doing, generally.
Gotcha, sucker!
Different actresses played Paula because the filming took a while to do, and during which midway there was a fallout between me and my then-time girlfriend Cassie, who was the first Paula. I realized that I really didn't want to see her. I decided that Morgan Coleman, who was the second Paula, looks vaguely like her, and they both have blonde hair. I didn't think as many fans would notice.
Having never played the game, it was hard for me to channel the character of Paula since I didn't know who she was supposed to be. So I really just tried to follow the direction of the director.
And are you an actress?
No, I'm not an actress.
Paula didn't talk much in EarthBound 4 for the same reason as us using multiple actors. We just didn't really think her character through very much, and probably because she too didn't really know the character.
Perhaps the acting ability would not have nearly been sufficient, or maybe it's just kind of funny to have a silent female protagonist because she is a woman and UbseyMovies is extraordinarily sexist.
I was lazy when trying to come up with a character for her, and I figured if she was quiet a lot of the time and just didn't say anything, the audience would get the impression that on another level we roped her into making a movie with us and she didn't really want to be there. When in actuality, I don't think she minded being there.
I would have liked to be in EarthBound Saga under different circumstances if I wasn't the replacement of someone that couldn't do it.
The fans did not like that and just didn't understand it.
The common response to me as Paula was unsatisfactory, and it was negative, and no one liked me as Paula. In general, it doesn't bother me that people feel that I'm less attractive than Cassie, because I figure that not everyone on the internet's going to find me attractive, and that's okay with me.
Okay, another one.
Go,
Keep it in there.
Take it through.
During the filming of one of the fight scenes, I got hit in the face with the bat by Robbie as he was trying to battle the mole.
Where did it hit you? In the head? Sorry.
UbseyMovies is extraordinarily sexist.
At the end of Chapter 4, Paula ran away, and when we shot it, I wasn't really aware of why that happened. I figured Jeffrey knew.
I think Paula ran away in the end of EarthBound Saga Chapter 4 because she just really couldn't deal with what was going on in Happy Town with the zombies and whatnot.
Paula, in the end of Chapter 4, ran away because she was scared of zombies. And I didn't know exactly why she ran away initially, but I now know that she was scared.
My favorite actor is probably Ness, or maybe it's the hotel manager. My least favorite actor is definitely Robbie.
I'm my favorite actor, and John's my least favorite actor.
My favorite actor by far would be would be Robbie for his sensational endurance throughout this, because he's taken the most punishment of anybody. Should have had a pink tummy, though. Least favorite actor? John.
I don't know. I, for the most part, dislike everybody else's performance except for Robbie's. Sometimes John. I think John does an okay job.
The character I think I'd be good at playing in future EarthBound Saga episodes would be Pooh. Mainly because I think that I am as physically adept as I would have imagined Pooh to be. I have the mental strength that Pooh has, and I also know a lot about Eastern cultures. I'm majoring in Eastern religion studies.
People seem to kind of be speculating at times if Apple Kid is high or drunk.
Apple Kid I don't think is high in the song. I think he's probably okay. I think he's just not sleeping as much as he should.
Whenever he's like appearing, he's laying down or something like that. He doesn't really move.
When Robert Cracker plays Apple Kid, he just drinks a lot of cider. So I don't think he's drunk, but I wouldn't say he's sober.
I don't think he's high. It's funny that people think that... I don't think he's really on drugs. I'd say he's just very tired because he's constantly working on contraptions. He doesn't get enough sleep.
Hey, Apple Kid.
Oh, hi, Ness. I was up all night working, but the pencil eraser is finally ready. This machine will eradicate any pencil-shaped objects. Just be sure don't close to...
Robert's lines are often jumbled because I think Jeffrey wants some outlet to let out some level of aggression or frustration with Robert's sometimes inept acting abilities.
I hated that. I hate the fact that my lines are completely jumbled. I said my lines perfectly when I was there. I said maybe like 2 takes that were kind of flubbed.
It's very powerful. Just be sure not to get too close to any shops that sell pencils. But just be sure not to get too close to any shops that sell pencils. Just be sure not to get too close to any shops that sell pencils. Just be sure not to get too close to any shops that sell pencils with it. Just be sure not to get too close to any pencil-shaped objects. In just 1 second. It's very powerful. Just be sure not to get too close to any shops that sell pencils with it. This machine is very powerful. It will eradicate... It's very powerful. But just be sure just be sure not to get too close to any shops.
Most of them were pristine, and I think for kicks, Jeff screwed them up. So don't think that I'm a bad actor. I'm a good actor. It's just the editor.
He claims that he said all the lines correctly. However, he never said it fluently correct. And so instead of me editing it and making him look good by choosing the best parts of each scene where he's not flubbing a line, I choose the worst parts and put them all together and make him look like a fool.
So we both say 3.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, what happens if I don't go up all the way? That's right.
Then you fall down.
Alright, hold on, stop. Okay, we gotta get wrist. We gotta get wrist. Do wrist. Okay. 1. No, I say 1.
Yeah.
You say 2. We both say 3.
Got it.
1,
2,
3.
Did you try not to do that?
No, I'm trying to go
Let's
up.
do it this way.
Wait.
1, 2.
I say 1. 1,
2,
3.
Thank you, Robbie.
If we were to go back and redo a part of EarthBound, it would be probably the whole first chapter, because it really, John just completely skipped by a lot of potentially dramatic content and plot.
If I could go back, I would like to redo the entire first film of Onett, because I think Onett is one of my favorite locations just because it's such a nice, friendly area.
The entire beginning of Onett with the meteor and the cops with the meteor and everything like that, the sharks, that's just so much material that could be really fun. There's really no indication of why Ness is doing what he's doing at this point. Had we followed the game, there would be a very definite motive for his actions, but at this point, he's flying by the seat of his pants. The things that I think mainly go unnoticed by fans in EarthBound Saga are a lot of the mannerisms that Ness does, and that's kind of surprising because I think people pay the most attention to him. There's just these really funny things that Robbie does when Paula's doing a PSI shield. Ness is in the back kind of squatting down. I think the main thing I like the most about stuff that's unnoticed in the series is the stuff in the background. Like Phil Wilson in the background of the Carpenter fight, or how you can always see the tripod in a lot of the fight scenes, or whenever we pan the camera over in a fight scene and you see Robert kind of kicking something around in the back waiting for the scene to be over so he can leave.
Most of the battle scenes, the boss battle scenes, are either under a bridge nearby where a lot of homeless people sleep, or they're in Jeff and Robbie's neighbor's Ted's garage, and he usually lets us go in there when there's not a car parked in there.
Well, we got one car out of there.
Put your best in, Robert. You gotta go like this. Remember, go like that.
Let me close the door before you talk, because it may drown out what you're saying.
Like this.
Like this?
Actually,
One of them was like that.
they were all like that. So just you're doing crutch, so jumping like that. You're jumping karate
Should I
chops.
jump?
Like that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Go play the game.
Action!
Usually we shoot a lot of the scenes in Ted's garage because Ted is a very nice man. He lives next door to the Bensons, and we will ask him, hey, can we use your garage for a scene that we need to shoot? And he'll say, yeah, sure. And we'll say, thanks. Usually the garage scenes take a day and a half or so. We once shot a 3-day shoot for a project that's called Summer Dance. Hopefully it'll come out soon. We'll see.
What's wrong? Is there something on your mind?
You threw this whole party for everybody else, and all you're doing is dancing with me.
Are you gonna try to have fun, Cora? Just try talking to somebody.
See that girl over there? She likes you. You wanna take my advice? You should dance with her by the end of the night.
Alright, so I say this is a Robert party, so let's have some fun. Let's get some dancing going on.
Stick in a CD. So who's that girl? You guys dating?
That was, my girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you guys been dating?
A couple months.
Morgan! Do you really love me, or you just want me to scream your name?
I'm sweating so much. Oh man.
Hello, everyone. The party is here.
So what's going on with you and John? Been able to do that for a while now.
Well, we're friends. What about him?
Mamma mia! John! Hey, John!
Screaming his name when he walks into a room is a bit more friendly than one would think, Morgan.
It's a way of saying hello to him. I'm not even attracted to him.
Let me tell you, you got the food and the drinks, you got everything I love. I love your party, love your house, love you, love your buddy, love everything. That was a good one.
Now who is having fun here, you know? Who's having fun?
Limbo takes a lot of balance, just like relationships. You've got to be careful about what you say and do when you're around the ones you love. As you'll see in our next movie, The Summer Dance.
We plan on doing Mr. Saturns and Dinosaurs by, I'm not really sure yet. I think I'll do it with claymation.
The Mr. Saturns are gonna be, they're gonna be a treat to see. I think there'll be a lot of fun to look at. And the dinosaurs, there'll probably be some really cheap blue screening done.
Maybe if we find a way, we'll do it. Computer graphics are very strong these days.
PSI Rocket A!
We accidentally said PSI Rocking A as opposed to Alpha, and a lot of the fans have made us very aware of this.
Oh, it's alpha in the game?
Yeah.
Probably because
we call it PSI Rockin' A because To be honest, I didn't realize it was alpha of the Greek alphabet, so I figured A. So I said A.
I don't know why we say PSI rockin' A instead of alpha. I think it should be alpha. I think it's kind of a joke.
Why are you interviewing me?
Name is an objective. Hold on, quiet.
But why? It's not gonna matter to the people who are watching it. Who's this guy? Jeremy Inman. Where am I looking?
Looking over here. What relation do you have to the EarthBound Saga series?
None.
Repeat the question back.
I haven't. What relation to? None. I have no relation to the EarthBound. I'm a watcher. I have an audience relationship.
What would you like to do in the EarthBound Saga?
Well, I guess it's not technically EarthBound, but I'd like to be Lucas, if Jeff would have me, in a Mother 3.
I don't think there will be a Mother 1 or 3 saga. I right now I can't imagine it, but that's not to say it could never happen. I don't know, guys. You have to see.
I think we've got our hands tied with EarthBound alone.
I think I'm as close to Lucas as Robbie is to Ness.
Why do you like Lucas so much?
I think maybe like a lot of the viewers out there is I just want to be involved. I just want to be part of the magic. And Lucas is a prominent character and happens to be the only other character I'm even peripherally aware of in that whole universe.
There will absolutely and positively never be a Mother 1 or 3 saga, at least not made by us. On April Fool's Day of 2008, for about 2.5 or 3 months, I think, Reed Young, he and I thought it would be funny for an April Fool's joke to say that EarthBound Saga was no longer happening.
I think we started talking about it in like February or something. And we had like these grandiose plans, like, okay, we're gonna make this fake site, and then we're gonna do like, we're gonna be like, hey, look, it's a new site. We're gonna have like every page like splattered with EarthBound Saga ads or something.
So I posted a video online saying that we were quitting it.
They ended up recording. I think it was a neighbor. Yeah, but was that for April Fool's joke? He said it's canceled.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
UbseyMovies isn't making EarthBound Saga anymore. UbseyMovies isn't making EarthBound Saga anymore. UbseyMovies.
People thought it was an April Fool's joke and nobody played into it, which kind of upset me in a way. So I decided I wasn't going to post the actual video just yet saying that it was an April Fool's joke. So I waited about 4 or 5 days and really let it sink in, and that made people kind of freak out. So it was kind of funny.
I don't know if people didn't expect it to last or what. And so then we posted a video of him being like, April Fools, and they had it like doing this trippy... I guess the April Fool's joke kind of lasted beyond April Fools.
April Fools, gotcha. That's because we're looking forward to the next UbseyMovies.
Womp womp.
In November of 2008, I took a trip alone, and I wound up in Tucson, Arizona. Reed and Camille Young of Starman.net were living there. Anyway, I wanted to stay with them for a little while and get to know them. And presumably they wanted to get to know me, I hope.
Having Jeff stay in our house for 4 days. Camille has an anecdote that she's not willing to share on camera. She said it was really early one morning, and Jeff woke up, and he went in the bathroom, and the piece in the house was broken like wind.
You should take that part out.
Oh no, that's staying in.
No.
It was a very funny experience.
Yeah, we hung out for a while. It was a good time. I was gonna show him the mountains that surround Tucson, and we got lost.
So it's 5:30. We started smelling something kind of weird.
Well, it's because we were going up a hill.
Yeah. It's actually kind of getting in my throat now.
It smelled like burning rubber.
Yeah, I think it was.
It's not good.
And so Reed looked at me and said, let's hope we make it home. I can't tell if he's serious or not, but...
I'm kind of serious. But this is why I have a AAA Plus membership. So we went to a thrift store instead.
What was it like having Jeff Benson at our house for a few days? It was a lot of fun, actually. I talked to him on the phone for a bit, and he was a pretty crazy guy. I remember just trying to make him as awkward as possible on the phone, and awkward as possible in real life, too.
And Steve talked to me about many things and bought me food on multiple occasions. And I offered to pay for it, but he said no. So that was the major benefit to going there.
Yeah, 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 yeah! Boom!
And then Reed also, he put me to work in the mailroom, and I had to ship out products.
Hey, Steve. Why don't you go clean up the Fangamer mailroom real quick?
Why don't you go make Jeff do it?
Alright. Jeff. Hey. Jeff, do you mind waking up real quick for me? Do you mind cleaning up the mailroom? This internship thing is really not working out, man. I mean, I hired you because of your stupid EarthBound videos, and all you've done is like sleep on the floor. Do you mind at least cleaning up the mailroom?
I make EarthBound Saga videos, and I'm not going to clean up whatever this is beyond me.
Right.
At this point in time.
Okay.
I'm worrying about making some film.
Right. Okay. I'll just get Steve.
Mr. Saturn, let's tight up on the track.
You're happy, Mr. Saturn. I can't get free. Oh.
Hey, Steve-O. Would you go help the intern in the mailroom? What's he doing? Sleeping on the floor instead of the bed. I hired him because he's a stupid EarthBound chunk videos.
Oh, you mean EarthBound Saga?
Yeah, just
more like EarthBound Saga.
Go help him. Clean out the mailroom.
Slap!
It's real mature.
Hey. Reed wants you to clean this place up. You're just sleeping here. Yeah, your videos suck. I'm not the only one who thinks that. Activist thinks that too. He hates you.
Room's looking good.
Really? Did you clean it up?
Yeah.
Steve. Everyone looks pretty good, Steve.
Yeah.
Talk to Jeff about it.
What did Jeff have to say?
What do you think he had to say about it?
I didn't mean it like that. Look, I'm sure Exodus loves his video.
Right, okay, listen. First off, Exvis doesn't work here, alright?
Right, I mean...
Second, I didn't ask Exvis to clean up the mailroom. Here, listen. Why don't you take your new pork shirt and get out of here?
Okay, I'm come over and play and stay for dinner. Sometimes, I really want him to come over. Sometimes I pull my leg hairs out and form really big bald patches. In future EarthBound Saga episodes, our plans are to, I guess, give the video game even more of a sort of realistic counterpart. I would really like to be able to create a better fan film. It won't be to just progress through the basic plot points that we all know of EarthBound. Not even a fan film, but just a good, funny, short thrill ride. Give context to each of those plot points, regardless if people know about EarthBound or not. People who aren't familiar with the game can watch it and still be entertained and think that was a good story. Just more realistic and more interesting and believable, I guess.
I dream for future EarthBound sagas to be even more extraordinary than the past ones.
If I had to describe future EarthBound Saga episodes, I would say stupendous, thrill ride, excellent, straight into your face. This is going to be balls to the wall action. It's going to grab you, white knuckle thriller, throw you against the wall and have you screaming. It's going to get you, pow, straight in the kisser, knock you out. I think it's going to be really entertaining.
Womp womp.
It's over.
It's over. All right.